Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to be with us this morning for our launch for our FY 2027 Arts and Cultural Funding process. On the screen, we're sharing the screen. Hopefully, everybody can see it. But you'll see 2 pages from our annual report this past year talking about not the current funding cycle, but the one before and the results of it. I just wanted to show that to kind of share that part of the Arts Commission's job is to work with partners to advocate for arts and culture in the community and to share the good work that you're doing. And we use the pictures that you send in your reports for that and the update. So we really appreciate you going through that quarterly report process. And I'm not sure if everybody had seen that when the annual report came out, so I wanted to share it. Um, and we'll, you know, I was just, when I was out shoveling snow this morning, I was thinking, gosh, I remember a number of years ago when we first started moving to Zoom and how much we all learned. And I'm looking, I was going to say mute your microphones, but I see everybody already does that now. We don't even have to say it anymore. But with that, I'm going to turn everything over to the committee. And this is committee driven, this whole process. We're so proud of our Roanoke Arts Commission and the 15 appointed members. And especially like today, on a day like today, the committee, the active committee work that makes things happen. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to our chair, Mr. William Penn.
Good morning and welcome, and we're glad that you joined us. My name is William Penn, and I do have the honor of being chair for this year's Roanoke Arts Commission. Um, the main reason that we're here is to support the partners of the art and cultural sector. And as a member of the Arts Commission, we work on advocating the arts and culture initiatives and investments, develop and implement the city's public art plan, advance the city's art plan, and to guide the city in their spending of the arts and culture. Today, we're here to review the granting process and to go over some important data that you may need, and you so that you'll be comfortable with doing the application and comfortable with us. And if you have any questions, we will give you a chance to ask those questions. If you take nothing from today's workshop, know that we are here to support you and help you be successful. There's nothing too big or too small that we can help you do. And just wanted to make sure that because if you're successful, then the city of Roanoke grows stronger from your successes. So it's important to all of us that we do the best we can with what we have to work with. And if you're applying and you want us to help you, just let us know by contacting either person on the commission. It would be easy, I guess, to contact Doug first by a call or his email, and we'll give you that information at the end of this session so that you can have it. And we're available to help you brainstorm, um, certainly to answer your questions about the application, anything we can do to help. Be sure and reach out to us because we are here to ensure that you have a successful application process and that we can do the best we can for everybody in this community that's involved with the arts and culture. And on that note, I will turn it over to our chair of this committee, Catherine.
And I'm not sure Catherine's on yet. I'll step in and roll until she comes, and we'll give her a chance to add comments after she does. Hopefully, she'll just jump in and interrupt me in the middle of it. But the things we're going to go through today, we're going to really give an overview of this granting process. You know, kind of focus on the specific tools that you need. A really nice thing is that we haven't changed really anything since last year. And we're going through an arts and cultural planning process now, and we expect there to be some solid changes in the next year. But this year, if you wrote an application last year and used the tools, I think we think you're gonna find it pretty similar. But we did want to have this session and talk about the things that really focused on. Every year we learn more in this process, and so we want to share with you what we're learning and help you do an even better application. And we'll give you plenty of time to ask questions. And Catherine, you holler if you hop on. The committee is a terrific group of people. So Catherine Cable Stromberg's the chair. Ben Bazak's on it. Becky Carr, Mary Jean Levin, Amaya Matthews, and William Penn. And then Shalene Powell, who's on the call as well. She's ex officio on this. We think our partnership with the Roanoke Cultural Endowment is very important. And as we're building as a community to that $20 million endowment, it's going to be really helpful if our programmatic grant opportunities and our capacity and organizational operational grant opportunities are in sync. So we're already starting that process now, and you know how closely the two organizations work together. And that committee, they're going to be so busy during the spring with this, and it's funny how much joy they take in being that busy as well. So we really do appreciate them. And then let's see, the big picture on this granting is that this is for nonprofit arts and cultural organizations and the programs that they provide that serve the residents and visitors for the city of Roanoke. And we say it's programmatic operation. That's as opposed to operational dollars. You can use 20% of the grant for your management cost, and those sometimes you hear those as indirect cost. And that's things like rent, et cetera, that underpin all of your work. The the criteria that we use, we have been, since the Roanoke Arts Commission has been in place, since we've been in over 40 years, 1983. The idea is to advance arts and culture, but also to use arts and culture to advance our community. And that means aligning with the community goals. Of course, those in Virginia, those are most outlined in the comprehensive plan for a jurisdiction. And ours is City Plan 2040. And our areas of interwoven equity, a healthy community, living in harmony with nature, creating a built environment that serves residents and has access to the services they need, creating a resilient economy, and working with our jurisdictional partners around the region. These are goals that we have as a community. And these are also goals that we are working with our programs and our funding dollars to advance as well. So you see in the program, we don't do many programs as the Arts Commission, but the ones that we do are umbrella programs that we hope everybody's participating in and benefiting in and contributing through. And we also, we're right now in the process of creating an arts and cultural plan. And most people in the space today have heard something about that, although we haven't actually officially done the big launch to the community to say, here's the survey, which we've been working on, and here are additional opportunities. We've been doing listening circles, or story circles. We've been trying to pull together all of the work that we've been doing over recent years in experimenting through the artist in residence, creating the catalog, partnering closely with the Daisy Art Parade, in these umbrella strategies. And so now's our time to pull together to say, what are we learning? And you are invited to do that. And I see that Catherine's on now. Catherine, I'll let you take over from here and tell us a little bit about the arts and cultural planning process if you want. And you're on mute.
Oh, okay. So I can't see the speaker notes, so I'm a little flying blind. I'm a lot flying blind. And I'm also probably one of the few people operating on kiddo snow day rules. So with two
And
kids in the house.
if you want me to keep
So
rolling, I can.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it might be best unless somebody really wants to hear like Golden in the background, like all of a sudden it could be get a little
Well,
crazy here.
yeah, well, thanks for being on, Catherine. Thanks for your leadership. W- the arts and cultural planning process, I got to give a shout out to John Cornthwaite. He's working really hard on our committee. Becky Carr's on that committee. She's on this call as well. Megan Sharp's on that committee. And then we've got about 20 people from around the community who are participating on that committee and helping to guide the process. And they have developed guiding language for that plan. And there's some beautiful language in it. And I know a number of you have heard the presentation, and we're going to be doing that a lot more throughout the spring. But the very snapshot version of what we're trying to do in our vision for the like through the plan is that we envision a Roanoke where creativity builds bridges, culture lives in every neighborhood, and the arts help us shape a future that we design together. And our values for that have emerged are very action-oriented values. So through arts and culture, we want to bring people together, make space for everyone, use the arts and culture to imagine what's possible for us. We want to celebrate and then imagine next steps for the future. So built into the plan is always thinking and assessing how the work that we're doing together is advancing us so that we can keep kind of lessen that distance between planning and the work that we do, which is something that I think that we're very thoughtful about the work that we're doing. And I know that is collective thought. So that is how we are working in partnership. All the organizations that are in the call are not only our arts and culture organizations, but our intermediary partners who are not directly arts and culture serving, but engage with arts and culture organizations. It's just that belief that if we align what we're doing, we're going to get very far. And you have seen that in the last couple of years with the It's Here Roanoke strategy that all of us together have developed, where we say that we are creating every day the place that we want to be. So just keep an eye out for that, and know that next year we hope to come out like right out of the gate with this and align the granting with what you tell us into the arts and cultural planning process that you want to do through arts and culture. So the things that you're working on, the things that you're writing grants for this year, even and thinking about for next year, we want to incorporate that in the plan so that we have a mandate and we can say to City Council, hey, look, this is what we're doing, and now we need resources to advance it. So it's really important that the partners participate in that. Um, and so when the back to so that's almost a little commercial. Back to our grant process. We are going to, and the panel will get together. They're going to review the grants. They are going to talk with you and on our interview day. They're going to review the grants again, and they're going to score them. And the things that we score them on are alignment with the plans, the community need, your plan itself that will be evaluated, the ability that you have to collaborate and your demonstrated collaboration, your the organization itself, the strength of the organization, the financial stability of the organization, and then your commitment to inclusion. And those applications are due at noon on Friday, January 30th, 2025. And that's noon on Friday, January 30th, 2025.
Uh,
And
2026.
oh, 2026. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I knew that there'd be typos somewhere in here. So 2026. Do not go back in time and
Unless you can.
well, if you can, I kind of want to know about it. That's kind of cool. So 2026, please, noon, Friday, January 30th, 2026. I just said it 3 times and said it wrong and still didn't notice it. So our important dates are Friday, noon, January 30th, 2026. Applications are due. On Wednesday, March 4th, we'll do the optional interview day where we'll be on Zoom and let people pop in for 15 minutes and kind of meet and greet with the committee. That's optional. On Wednesday, April 1st, we'll have the allocation meeting where the committee comes together after they've scored everything and we hash out what we think this is going to look like. We will give recommendations to the Roanoke Arts Commission, the full commission, for them to approve on April 21st, and that's a public meeting. And then on Friday, April 24th, at the end of that week, we'll let you know what we think you're going to get out of the grant, so that you're able to do your budgeting. And now that's a tentative letter, and it says, hey, we've got to take this to council because we can't make any decisions on our own. City council will approve this, and that'll happen no later than June 15th. What happens in between us saying what we think you're going to get is that we will work on an assumption that we have $300,000 to grant. That's what we had last year. There's a chance that council could change that in their budgeting process for the FY 2027. And if they change it, we'll have to go back and adjust the scores. That's why it's tentative. And then after that, we'll let you know, and you'll be able to start your project July 1st. And again, this funding is for the fiscal year 2027, which runs for the city July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. That part's over. Yay. Okay. We're going to turn it over to Amaya Matthews and let Amaya talk about our application tools.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are enjoying the snow. I know I am. So yes, we're going to talk about just some of the application tools and where to find your application. So if you can go to the next slide. And so in this slide, this is the login site where you're going to access all of the application tools. So the job form, the different resources. And if the link doesn't work, you can always just type in roanokeva.gov/art and it'll take you straight to the site. And on the left, you'll see the resources for the arts and culture organizations. You should also be able to Google the City of Roanoke Arts funding and come to the full resources, or either one or two pages on the website will pop up. But it shouldn't be that hard to access these resources. But if you do have any difficulties, please reach out to us and we'll be willing to help you with that. I know sometimes it seems really simple to just type in a link, but it's not as simple as people make it out to be. So if you have issues, that's perfectly fine. No shame in that. So then we're going to have some general tips. Like the first tip is just really use the resources listed on the webpage. They're there for a reason and they're there to help you. So I really want all of you to make sure that you're utilizing them. And then you'll see in the next slide just all the different ones that we have: the application guide, the worksheet, the budget worksheet. All of that nice planning stuff will be there available for you to help you really fill out your application to its full potential. We try to pull everything for you on this resource list page. And the links will open up in new windows, or you'll either download a PDF form. And the application guide just kind of shows you everything that you need to complete your application. If you want to share questions with colleagues, the easiest way to do that is with the application worksheet. And the budget worksheet, program outcomes, and representations and agreements are required uploads as well. And just remember, when you're uploading a form, it's clearest for the reviewers if you name it with your organization and what it is. So for example, like RSO_27_ or if this was the regional commission, we would do RBARC_27_ just to give a clear, I think we're going to get quite a few applications in this year. So to help us distinct from which is which, that would help a lot. So this year, we'll be using a job form. And the lucky thing about job forms is that you should be able to save your work. So if you're not finished with your application, or if you have to go back and find out some information from someone else, you'll be able to save your work. And how that happens is you'll get a return link to a copy of your link, and it'll be emailed to you because you'll be able to create an account, I'm pretty sure. And that's how you'll be able to save your work. So remember your passwords, but that's and we won't see anything until you press the final submit button. So you can go in and out of the job form, make revisions and edit things, and we won't see anything until you press submit. So these are just two screenshots of what the job form may consist of. Very easy, like any other form. It's like taking a survey. maybe a little complex, but I think that, you know, you all are really good at the work that you do. So you will understand all the information that you need to fill out in the form. But like I said prior, if there's any difficulties or if you need help with anything, like please reach out to us because that's what we're here for. We want you all to apply for this funding so we can fund your wonderful, wonderful projects for the next fiscal year. And that's about it. I hope I didn't miss anything. But if that's the case, I'll just turn it over now to Mary Jean to talk about the demonstration of organizational capacity.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you on this very pretty day. I hope no one's struggling too much with the weather. The application does ask for a lot of information, and we do need it. And it's basically in two halves. The first half is your organizational information. It includes basics of the contacts that we need to be able to get to if we have questions. We want to know things about your normal practices. You'll either have to attest with a yes or no answer or go deeper depending upon the question. So those are the things that we're starting from in what the organizational information is. The first thing that you can do almost immediately is to go to uploads. Let's get to the next slide here. The things that you will need to upload about your organization, that you do have liability insurance, your financial audits, or for smaller organizations, signed financial documents. Basically here is we need to know that you're a qualifying 501c3 organization, that you are insured, that you follow financial best practices, that you have some independent review of your finances, and that you have an active and engaged board that represents the community. Yes, somebody asked a question? Oh, okay. I also want to just make a little side note here because I always think this is fascinating. Item E there, VDAC's confirmation letter. That's, of course, your Virginia confirmation of being a nonprofit. And I think it's so interesting that cows and peanuts and nonprofits all fall under the same category. I don't know what that says about us, but maybe it's where the arts fall in importance is actually pretty good. Because it's the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer, what is it? I have to go back to look at this myself. Consumer Services. Yeah. So that's where we fall. So we can go on to the next slide, which is about the questions that you're going to have to be working on. The uploads we need to have, but those should be things that you have in your files and can be pulled out and uploaded to us. These are questions that you need to answer. And as I mentioned at the end of the last one, we want to know that you have an active and engaged board. Board participation is critical in one of the things that we look at. We want to know that your board is attending meetings, is active and contributing. And by contributing, we mean financially. We really look for that 100% participation of board members' contributions, financial contributions to the organizations. Now, we don't question how much that may be. That's not our business, but we just want to be sure that they are, in fact, all engaged financially as well as in their time and talents. We also are interested in the in your outreach strategies for diversity. And we aren't going to go through, incidentally, these questions, strictly all of the questions, because they're pretty clear in here. But we need to know them in a way that's easily enough recoverable that we can see fairly quickly what they are. You can use your application guide and application worksheet to get an overview on this. And I think one of the things that you do want to be sure about is that you engage the other people in your organization who will have some of this data, because some of the time, I know some of you are, a lone grant writer, and many of us on the committee have been in that position before. and we have reviewed that kind of grant before, so we certainly do appreciate the fact that you're doing that. But please do reach out to the others in your organization. It may take a little bit of time to get some of this, like your strategic planning implementation. And we do want to know we have a question about past deficits because we want to know that you're now in a good state to move on and be able to carry on with the project you're doing. So we can go on. A key question, again, back to the organization's efforts to ensure a diverse staff and board leadership. Do you have contact with those parts of the community that are part of what you do? And that's really something that we do look at because it is part of the progress that you're making in your outreach and engagement strategies with the community. We do closely look at all of your responses. We look at trends over the past years. We've been asking these questions for a number of years. We expect to see that the outcomes reflect what you've told us in the past as well. So we'll be looking at responses to these questions in relation to your board makeup. And the next slide isn't always on information that you get from funders. But the big part here is concise and clear. The suggestions we're making in this grouping of bullet points is things that all funders would love to see followed by applicants. We don't always say it, but indeed we do appreciate it because we spend a lot of time reviewing what you present to us. Consider that those of us who are the readers generally know something about you. We appreciate what you're doing, and we need your facts more than your verbiage. So please, again, concise and clear. A new precaution that we want to enter into your thinking in this clarity is also be genuine. Don't think that we want to be fed an AI word salad when you're writing your application. We want your thoughts, your insights, and it will do a much better job of presenting your message.
Can I interrupt real quick? Because this was my bullet point. I'm going to be honest with everybody. That I kind of insisted be in here. And I think Doug had a really great point in terms of how he framed this up, which is like when you write a grant, this is your thinking time. And if we let AI think for us, what we get back may not be anything close to what we actually want to do if we did our thinking for ourselves. I think there's a huge problem actually with AI overall. It's fine to outsource things to AI that make sense. But we need to be really careful about what it really doesn't make sense to use AI for, I think. And strategic, a grant is a process of your own strategic planning. So I really don't know that AI makes a lot of sense there because, you use Google Maps, you lose your ability to kind of navigate around your city a little bit. And that's fine if you're always going to have Google Maps right there. But, you don't want to lose your ability to navigate around your organization. So that's all. Thanks. Sorry for the interruption.
No, I think that's helpful. And it may not be as necessary a precaution for anybody in the arts because we tend to be very independently minded anyhow. And we want you to show that in your application. So thanks so much on that, getting that idea across. I think this is, again, more words are not necessary. That's concise, get to the point. And we really do recognize what you've told us from the past. We're looking for new things or new slants on things that you've been doing. A new focus of a program, an expansion of it, a different aspect of it. Please don't just recycle old things that we would already know and you should already be doing. And again, what is new? What are you learning? This is a part of our lifelong learning question. I think overall, that's the what you need in this session. We also want to be available to you. Doug is wonderful about that, answering questions, and he's definitely the place where you'll get the most accurate answers from all of us. But if you want to get in touch with any of us on the funding committee, we are happy to work with you. We want you to be successful. We really want to be. This is something that we all own together. So please know that, and please know that we are going to try to do the very best that we can for you and for our community. And we're in the place of looking out for the community's interest particularly. Becky is about to come on, Becky Carr. She's going to give you a review of the specifics of your project application, the information that will be in that. And this is, of course, for the upcoming year, which is in terms of the, as Doug mentioned before, it's 26-27 fiscal year for the city. So just know that you will see us again at the information meeting, that we are on your side. And go ahead, Becky, because she's wonderful in proving that to you.
Thanks, Mary Jean. Appreciate it. I'm sitting here looking at the snow out the window and getting very distracted. So, and if my dog barks, I apologize. I'll jump up and let her out because she chases everything she sees in the snow. So I apologize for that. I'm going to talk to you about communication. How do you communicate your project? And that's what if you look at the grant application and you look at it carefully, you'll realize that we're just trying to ask you questions so that we can understand thoroughly what it is you're trying to accomplish. So I think that will help if you can communicate it to us in a clear manner. Then it will score very well. We'll know what you're trying to accomplish. We'll look at what you've done in the past and help you through anything that you need to know. We think that the application is a very strategic space, and that's why we give you 2 months. It's a long time with the application. Use this time to think thoroughly through your strategy for communicating what you're going to do so that we can see it. I think it was mentioned before by Mary Jane and even Catherine when they said to engage other members. You may feel like sometimes you're working alone on this grant application, but if you get advice from your board members, even get advice from some of your volunteers and the people that you work with, then you get more, I think, of other opinions and come out with a more concise view of the project that you want to do. Think about what you're going to get done to advance the goal, things that you need to do, how you're going to, and this comes up and it's going to be very important, is how to measure the success of your project. And I'm going to talk to you about that in the next slide in just a minute. Think about how effective your program has been in the past and how it's built to deliver it and how you're going to present the program to us when in this application and when we have the interviews. I think, is it May 5th, Doug? Somewhere around there. March
4th.
4th. Okay. It's on my calendar too. So I wanted to make sure everybody knows March 4th. And then how you're going to pay for it is important to consider as you go through it. Could I see the next slide? I'm going to talk about 2 important uploads, and these are on the resources page, and you can upload them. You probably already have uploaded them and looked at them, and that's the program budget and the outcomes worksheet. So if you'll flip up to those, it's the next, so we can see them. Okay, and this will go down into the next slide. This part of the slide is where you look at the name of your organization, of course, the name of the program goal. And the program goal is your overall goal of the program that you're having. And okay, so underneath those, then you come up with the activities. No, not yet. Excuse me. At the top, activities and indicators and target number. These are going to be important to fill out, and this will be your measurement tool and how we'll see how well you've measured it. Okay, now if you'll come up a little bit. Okay, this one, and I apologize for leaning close to the screen, but my eyesight's not great on these things. But underneath in the orange part there, you have the goal. I'm not going to read it out loud to you, but off to the right it's like it is an example of a goal that you might have, just an example. But it's the high level goal that you want to achieve. And it should, and this is another in your resources, you have the City Plan 2040 and the Arts and Cultural Plan. You will see those. And so refer to those goals, and that will help you understand what we want in your goal. And that's very specific. It's kind of like I'm an English teacher. And when you write an essay, it's coming up with your thesis statement. It's going to tell you the whole thing. And then once you have your goal or your thesis statement, then you come down to your objectives. We suggest anywhere from 1 to 3 objectives. You should consider making and it gives you a hint here, Smarty objectives. Watch a quick YouTube video, and I watched that. It was put in the application. I watched that. I thought it was very, very helpful. And that will help you make your objectives. Your objectives are what you need to accomplish to achieve the goal. And you don't want really more than 1 to 3, because if you have more than 1 to 3, you're probably getting into the activities that you're going to have, which you'll see is underneath the objective. The activities that you're going to carry out that will help you to reach the objective for the goal. Then the indicator is what you will measure, and then you flip back up at where we still are, but you look at the green part, and there you want to put the precise kind of measurements. I'm going to target maybe 500 students. And out of that 500 students, the indicator target number, and what you end up with is maybe 350 of those students participate and are able to answer questions or fill out a survey about the project. So target number, actual number, and then how will you measure your success? Is it, if you have 500 students you're targeting, if you do get your 350 and they, 50 of them filled out a survey and answered, and that's your measure of success. Any questions about this? It is an important document to upload. And if you have any questions about it, again, as everybody else has said, make sure you either give Doug a call or ask one of us in filling it out, what you might need. Okay, what's next on my thing? Oh, I think I just said most of that. All right, then here is where you can actually start to fill it out. Brief description of the organization plans to partner with Roanoke City Schools. Again, this is an application that you need to have finished. Am I correct in this? And have it filled out and submit it with your application. And that's go ahead.
Yeah, this is an important one on collaboration. We don't ask you for letters anymore to show that you've got collaborating partners. We do ask you for names of individuals at organizations and the organization that you're partnering with one exception, and that's Roanoke City Public Schools. If you're partnering with them, we have a dedicated form that you can download and get. Typically, it's Whitney Johnson. It could be somebody else, another administrator there, but she's the fine arts coordinator. You get that signed in advance and submit it. And that gives Becky and the other panelists gives them the confidence that yeah, you've got a real thing happening and you're not going to struggle to get your program into the schools at a later date.
Thanks. Um, as you're writing this, I think it's just very important that you collaborate with other members of your board and volunteers, and definitely other organizations you might be working with to get your project across and need them. And there'll be a place for listing that, which organizations that you have collaborated with. And next one. Okay. That one wasn't in my presentation. Present this information. Membership. This is part of the application. Outreach, attendance, box office, school data, and think about who you're serving. Next slide. And then I guess we're going to turn your questions over to Catherine or Doug.
I'm
Or
here.
anyone, or any member of the
Um,
team right here now. You can ask if you have a specific question. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'd like to add, in case somebody forgot, we do not fund bricks and mortar projects. So if you have that in mind, be sure and not do it, please.
Right. This is programming. So if it's not programming, we can't fund it. Just the legal requirements. I don't want to get hauled off to grant jail, you know? Just kidding.
And I also found out when I was writing grants that if you go to some other organization, the other organizations are willing to help you through your project. So I would suggest that you do that.
Yeah, one thing I really want to emphasize as we're wrapping up is, part of the reason why we're having this so early um, is that, this deadline is going to come at you fast. And especially, December is a very busy month. And our deadlines are, our final deadline is really hard and fast. So, we want you to get going now, like reaching out to the folks now, but also if you're kind of overwhelmed by this application, you're looking at this and you're thinking this is so much, like especially if you're a new org, reach out to Doug. Reach out. We are so open to like hearing from people who are in the early stages and just kind of grappling with this. And I feel like if somebody reaches out in the early stages, we can be so much more helpful. And like it's so much easier for Doug, especially if you reach out early, as opposed to like, if we're scrambling at the last minute to kind of like fix something that like up like oh like I wrote an entire grant for for bricks and mortar, and oops, I just realized that this is only programming. If we're trying to fix that stuff at the last minute, that is just so hard. So like Becky said, get going on your sorry, we have an incoming question. I'm just going to finish my thought so I don't lose it. Get going on reaching out to your other people at your organization that you're kind of going to need to be thinking with or get documents from now, and start that strategic planning of the grant now. And if that includes reaching out to Doug, he loves to talk to arts organizations. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, and let me add one thing to that too. If you are on the call or watching this later and you're considering applying for a grant and you decide not to, that's really of interest to us as well. Like I said, we're going through the arts and cultural planning process, and we as a community can reshape this process. We can help shape what we do. So, for instance, if you're a small organization and you just can't find a way into this yet, if we talk about it, we might figure out a way to help emerging organizations access the resources. And so that's the kind of thinking that we're interested in. There was a question that came through, and and about the this PowerPoint presentation, it is actually already posted on the resources page, and it not only with the slides, but it has the speaker notes as well. So, and we'll also post this video on that page immediately following this session.
And then the total grant budget question is 300,000. And unfortunately, that is a reduction, not from last year, we don't think, but from previous years. So, yeah. Um, yeah, it's just, it is what it is. So, oh, is there a preferred minimum and maximum amount for this grant application? Yes. So that's part of this. Over a certain amount, what's the amount, Doug, where you have to start providing more documentation?
25,000.
25,000. So above 25,000?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then what's the max? Is it 40?
Our guidelines have said 30
Okay,
as we
30.
have
Okay.
limited funding and a lot of
Yeah. I mean, just be realistic. Like we fund more than 10 organizations. So, we have to be realistic and we have to say, we understand that some programs are so big and so, complicated that you may be applying at the $30,000 level, but it's really hard for us to be funding a lot of organizations at that level because, you know, just divvying up the funds, just the realities of $300,000. So,
And just one common question too, and because it's an interesting nuance, we know this program is funded purely through the taxpayer resources of residents and businesses in the city of Roanoke. So our focus is what's happening in the city of Roanoke. That being said, we do realize that we have partners who might be officially located outside of the jurisdictional lines, but are providing activities that benefit the residents and visitors of the city of Roanoke. And so we are open to funding those organizations, but we need to have kind of a documentation and understanding of how it benefits the residents and visitors specifically of the city. And there are ways to do that, I think.
right.
Because
That's a really important point because we do talk about that a lot in in the going over the grants.
any other questions?
Yeah, if your programming is going to entirely benefit the city of Lynchburg, we don't score it very high. I'm sorry.
I think about zero.
It may be very worthy, but apply to Lynchburg.
And that's a good question as well. Talking about other jurisdictions, other jurisdictions can fund arts and cultural organizations as well. And there is we really do believe in this vibrant region and the organizations that are in the city of Roanoke. That if you say are in an outlying county, say, and you're trying to attract industry or executive leadership or talent, one of the first things I think you do is take them downtown Roanoke and show them all these assets that we have. So if you're an organization, please do continue to reach out to these outlying communities and ask them about funding for arts and culture. And we really do see ourselves working in partnership with them in a very collegial way. Some of our regional structures are our most treasured. If you think about the greenways, if you think about our water authority, and I think our arts are another regional piece of our infrastructure. So let's keep those conversations going as well. All right. Well, I think that I just want to applaud our team who just presented the committee. I'm applauding the committee early because they're going to be putting so much work into it, and that's going to just keep them working hard.
Yeah. Just like whoops, am I on mute? Okay. Oh, my final thing is like if you've taken nothing away from this, I think you can take away that you have like very active grant readers. We really read these. We read them hard. We read them more than once. But when you make it easy for us to read it and it's a joy to read, then you will find there's a direct correlation to there's a connection to scoring there. So put the thought in, put the effort in, and this is not going into the void. This is going into a very active readership.
And I'd like to add that I, I know it's a lot of work and a lot of time, but I love reading these applications. I just get so excited to see all of the different projects that people are wanting to carry out. And I for one, I tend to feel like I want to just fund them all and find more money and fund them again because they are a joy to read.
Right. And the most joy is also seeing an organization grow from year to year. So that changing application, when we see that your organization is really changing and growing, that is a huge, there's definitely orgs that we have seen grow that it really is exciting to us. And we're so happy that the Arts Commission is able to be a part of that process. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Catherine just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, I've been on this committee for a long time. And some of the organizations have grown so much, it just makes me proud to even want to help fund them. So keep growing, please.
All right. And with that, the contact information, you've got my email and phone number on the many emails I sent you about this meeting. So I should be easy to find. I use that as your primary source too. And in some cases, reaching out to you might involve our arts commissioners as well. And no, too, just one thing, just to reinforce that, like in January 15th, if you got a grant, if you're currently working through a grant with us, you've got a quarterly report due. That quarterly report needs to be in before you apply. And we will be trying hard to be on the front end with the monitoring visits this year. So typically, we have a commissioner or two will come with me if we come on site. A number of you have reached out and said, "Hey, we've got an event going on this weekend. Why don't you come and just see how it is?" And we do that as well. But we'll probably, and sometimes we just pick up the phone and call you and say, "How's everything going? Let's talk about some key questions." And that's an important part of our process, and that also feeds into this review as well. So thank you for your quarterly reports. And one more thing, if you think, well, I haven't submitted a quarterly report yet because I haven't done anything, we still ask for you to check in with us with that quarterly report, your program is in the end of the year. Should be pretty simple to do, but just it's a good record keeping aspect for us, and it's required under our policy. So with those notes, oh yeah, and Ahu, oh, thank you for that note. We really, again, we're all working on this together as a community. So thank you all for all you're doing. Please go out and be safe, make a snowman.
You forgot to give your contact information, Doug.
It's yeah, I just said it's in the email that I sent out. I sent out a number of emails on this. That's the easiest way to find me. Douglas.Jackson at roanokeva.gov or 540-853-5652. All right. With that, thanks everybody.
Thank you for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you.